Well, here's another one we picked up that said the turntable did not work. And after a stylus and playing with the switches, we got the turntable working. The CD didn't work. I replaced the mechanism. I think this came out of a Memorex or something. I ordered one, but I found a similar one on a Memorex karaoke. And I put that in. Now I have to figure out, I think it's scraping, so I think the springs need to be re-arched. But if you're going to have these things, you've got to know what you're in for. I replaced the pickup, but the problem is actually in the suspension, holding the CD and the magnet and the clamper. I've replaced it with some out of a karaoke machine. So it's running on the karaoke machine, optical pickup and suspension. The bonus was it came with a Elvis Gospel CD in it, which isn't bad. The springs wore and aren't able to keep the disc up in playing position, scraping and causing it to fail. Just a quick note on these Crosley lookalikes, or this is not a Crosley. All these look the same, but they're not all created equal. On this one, it does have the 12 volt 1 and 12 volt 2, I'll call it. This being 12 volt standby of pin 2 here, and I'll call 12 volt number 2 after switch 1 here is closed, which is pin 1. And for some reason this one has another pole, or it's using the other section of the switch, so that only on 33 this motor's delivered through the 470 ohm 9.8 volts, say 10 volts. So they supply the motor 9 volts, or like 10, I'll say 9 for the heck of it, and then 12 on 45 and 78, but only 9 on 33. One last note, but yet the 12 volt number 2, I'll call it, to unmute the amplifier, is still 12 volts. This thing's really been something else. When I got it, the phonograph didn't operate. I think it was one of the switches. Then the CD did not operate. There's just the suspension, so I've doubled up on that there so the CD doesn't scrape. And then one channel, the left channel, keeps cutting out. I think it's the left channel. I don't know, it's one of them. I noticed this scratch on the PC board here. And right next to it is a transistor that it has no solder on it. None whatsoever, that one right there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's no solder on that top transistor where the scratch mark is. Someone never came back and touched that one up. So I'm chasing this intermittent connection, and it could be that right there. There's also a diode that doesn't look very good either. It has like no end on it. So I'll check that. The rest of it looks okay. There's a problem too with that capacitor. That's a cracked in solder right there too. So that could be a problem with our channel also. I've traced it. It appears to go to the other channel, but again, maybe not. So the CD is operating properly, no scraping, etc. The turntable comes in about 4 grams, but I did notice it's turning off halfway through the 45, for instance. So I'm going to back out this screw here. This is what senses this. This is the switch that turns off the motor. So I'm going to adjust the wiper so it actuates a little later. I've taken off the cover and there's something not right here, and it's I think this is bent. This is supposed to be out straight. Let's straighten that, and like that is how it's supposed to be. Somehow it got tweaked. We'll straighten that out a little bit. I really have no idea how that operates because it does open the switch at the lead out. I don't know if the capacitor has to discharge prior and then it quits. I don't understand it, but it plays to the end now. We're back to stopping prematurely, so we'll adjust that a little. Alright, one turn out counterclockwise. That got us to the end of play. If it shuts off or doesn't shut off at this point, I really don't care. I'm guessing it won't. That's a sensitive, I'll go in a half a turn. I'll play with it a little more, but I'm not really concerned. I'll leave it there, maybe it'll quit, but okay. And yes, I no sooner turned off the camera and it quit. So that leads me to believe that that's what that electrolytic capacitor is doing, is discharging, and then we'll stop the motor. Alright, so there you have it. It stopped. So I'm going to put the cover back over the switch. I'm going to call this one good. So yeah, that'll do it. And I'm noticing there's no cutout of this channel any longer, so it must have been that transistor or that capacitor connection that caused that. So we'll run it some more, but that's it for the CD. Only operates with CD. That's what we'll call done on the, should try the radio, but I know the radio works. Before, the CD was scrape. Like I say, I had to put new shock absorbers in. It's like the springs had fatigued and worn down. The cardboard got fatigued or something, but alright, that's what we'll call that. The CD is good. Go over to radio, auxiliary, AM, FM. I do like the looks of this dial from most. It's okay. It is not much, but okay. I'll call it quits on this. Oh, and the tape works. And what's weird about this is if you have it on CD, phonograph, anything, and you interrupt it with a tape, it goes to the tape. Let's see if we put a cassette in, if it will interrupt the radio. Oh, it goes this way. No, I had it the right way.
Bankruptcy, there will be a wide swath of America that no longer has any of its 14 states in the Midwest and the South won't have any.
That may be over. That's why it.
Closing is complete. They include Minnesota, where Richard Sears started the retailing business.
Oh, that is correct.
After reorg, there will be 435 Sears and Kmart's. I'm Yankee.
There it goes. So it does interrupt. Oh, my knob is now my volume knob is coming loose. Never ends with this. I hope it's not the control. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this thing. Alright, in case inquiring minds want to know, the reason the knob has a little bit of play in it now is it's two-piece. You can't pull this knob off. It's just a plastic piece of the control panel. They just put a dab of glue. It's not the control or anything. It's just they have a dab of glue on the there's two pins in plastic, and they just had a dab of glue on it. So it's just that's okay. That's not a problem. Could put another dab of glue down there if I feel like it, but that's it. Okay, we're going to cover this thing up. Well, I went ahead and put a little rubber cement on the coupler there to tighten that up a little so it feels more normal. Okay. As I go and put the bottom cover on here, you got to hand it to them for making it look $1 million, but this is nothing. I've seen these advertised as solid oak cabinets. This is nothing but cardboard with the thinnest laminate on it I've ever seen. It's like going to the deli and getting a thin sliced tomato that you've never seen before. It's simply cardboard. It gets wet. It's all over. They do make it look good, but it is not a solid oak cabinet as you may see advertised. It's completely false. It's just cardboard. It's a cardboard box. Kiss the real world goodbye. Take me to the other side where the normal people are. And these replacement needles you buy, these are replacements. I have 2 sets of them. I'm going to try, I know it doesn't happen with the original Crosleys, but these knockoff needles you buy, you can see everywhere I put the needle down, I was playing to here. I picked it up and I put it here. And then I picked it up a couple more little times here and there. And you can see the lines that these needles leave. It's like, I don't understand it, but I know if I use a Crosley or a Memorex needle, they don't do it. And they don't skip or anything, but they leave patterns, which is a no-no. And they look horrible on the magnification. Now here I have, I believe, I may have been through this, but I have a Fansteel P190, and these do not do that. Yeah, so I'm going to drop one of those in there and try. I can see it right now that the Fansteel does not do that. It's hard to see in the camera, it's not going to pick it up. But those knockoffs, the minute you stop playing it, you can see it in the groove. I'm playing it again, but yeah, definitely no striping with these Fansteel needles. I can still see there, and the 2 lines I made up here with the other one. This has no striping, so there's a difference between these and your dollar, whatever you call it, knockoffs. And the Crosleys, the factory ones, do not do it, I've noticed. The ones that originally come with these are okay. Alright, I was about to put the Fansteel back because I found one that I thought wasn't doing, and I played the whole record, and you can see right up to there. It's changed the grooves. All these rubber coupled no-name knockoffs do that. If I play with the Fansteel from here in, it won't do that. I'm going to take this, I believe this is from a Crosley or something because it's not rubber coupled. I'm going to put this on and see what happens. This one is not doing it. This is a factory needle from one of these and it's not doing it. You can see the knockoff rubber coupled ones. Every time you place it down, it discolors the grooves. It can't be helping it. Okay. See, it finished the band, and again, people think I'm Korea has none of that. All those Chinese knockoffs that do that. No banding with this factory needle. It's not rubber coupled, but it doesn't leave those, and you have to, it leaves no banding. You have to get the light just right to see what it's doing, because you go like that, you can't see it. Get the light just right, you can see the banding that those imposter needles are doing. That's my opinion. I'll stick with the brand name replacement stylus.